think that for me there's a couple of factors. One was that it's quite an old house that we live in, so I mean it's like 100 years old, and the work that was done to extend the house meant going really kind of taking out part of the supporting wall that came under that part of the house. So I think it was really important to see how seriously everyone took that part of the project. The guys spent a lot of time with the pad stones and just making sure everything was correct and the steel was installed correctly. All of that I think is really important.
You are dealing with 100-year-old bricks,
yeah,
aren't you?
Exactly. And I think everyone took that really seriously, and that was great. I think how involved building control were, for example, just the communication with all of the parties that we needed to get that bit done correctly. And then also probably the finishing and the detailing. The guys did a great job of finishing everything. The kitchen installation, tiling, finishing, and also being really willing to come back if we'd spotted anything or any issues, or touching up the paint where something got bumped into as they're finishing off. So I think those to me were the two main points. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the kind of understanding of the look and feel that we were trying to achieve, and Yuri was great in terms of texting. When he had a question about something, he'd say, "You sure you want it to look like this? Because I think it might look better like this." And often I'd say, "Oh yeah, actually no, you're right." That instead of just doing what he was told, he kind of was mindful of what would look good.
Yeah.
The finishes, being so much more knowledgeable, obviously, about the products that he was working with.
Definitely.
Than we would be. There were a couple of things that we changed our mind on because the advice was, "I don't think that'll be as good. This is what it might look like. I think you should do this." And so I think that vision of like what we wanted to achieve in the end.
Yeah.
And he was really helpful in helping us kind of get there with his in-depth kind of knowledge of the products and the different materials that we were using.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those because we had a couple of, before we finalised the design, we had a couple of architects come and look at it and do something very, very modern.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel right. I think we were like...
Well, the thing is we really love modern architecture, but that's just not this house. This house is an old house, and there's all the history, and so it was nice trying to work out ways of having something that was modern where we wanted it to be, but still respected the kind of heritage of the house as well. It's really important.
Yeah, and I think things like the floor and also the style of the kitchen, that it's an old style kitchen. It's much more in keeping, because you can go to lots of houses in this neighbourhood and they've done an extension and they've got the full bifold doors and they've got sleek marble floors and shiny and they look great, but it doesn't feel like a Victorian house. It looks like one from the outside, but then you come inside and it feels like a very modern house, and that's just not not what we wanted. So.
We chose to do a number of different bits of work in the house at the same time. So we're doing some work on the loft, we're doing some work in the living room, we're doing some work in here as well. So we're doing lots of different things at one time. The way that we did that originally was with different contractors. So we've got 3 different people doing different things at the same time. And lots of the other contractors we've also been happy with, I think. But I have to say, kind of looking back retrospectively, that's one of the things I would change. Is I think it's made administratively the whole process quite a lot more challenging. When you've got small things like needing to give out 4 parking permits in the morning and stuff, and all of that, just the administration of that, trying to have potentially 2 skips would have been on site at different times, scaffolding for different, all of that creates quite a challenge. I think retrospectively I would have definitely probably tried to do everything through a single contractor, because I think that would have given us easier control of the process, would have helped with the project management team, and obviously now knowing Alex and the team and my trusted builder as a group, I think we would have definitely been very happy, probably would have preferred to use them for everything, because it would have given us just that single point of focus that would have allowed us to really achieve something. Probably use that a little bit more quickly and easily. And again, that's not to kind of criticise others, but I think the process here was so good, and I think the team was so good at getting the work done, and we were so happy with the project that having one person that we would have spoken to for everything probably would have been the way to do it going forward. But
Right. I think something that perhaps we just didn't maybe understand, and that or didn't kind of ask enough questions, was the other expertise in the business. So it was kind of we kind of knew that you were really good at this kind of stuff, and then as we got through the process, we probably discovered more things that you'd done, and when we met people that you'd worked with, we knew that you were able to do the whole
house, actually, every room really.
But by that point, we'd kind of already got quite far down the road with selecting a different contractor for a different element of the work. So I think maybe just taking a step back at the beginning and just saying, okay, what's my objective and how do I want to get there? I.e. the objective is to get the whole house done. How do you want to get there as quickly and as painlessly as possible? And then how do you build up to that? So
and I think budget permitting, that would have been the best way of achieving it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used it every day.
Yeah.
I've really found it really helpful.
Yeah.
I'm quite Ben will testify to this. I'm quite an ordered person, and I like to really know what's going to be happening from one day to the next.
Yeah.
And I found the visual kind of Gantt chart and understanding the different stages really useful.
The project plans and everything, I think were really good.
And I think also just for peace of mind for both parties to have a place where you can put all of the information, particularly like photographs, things that are really important for building control and things that kind of document different stages in the project. I think to have a central place where that all goes just provides everybody with a bit of security that there's a log of
proper record.
There's a physical record of what's going on at any moment. It definitely made our budgeting process easier as well.
Yeah.
Because the way that you can see what's left to pay and how many change orders you've had and what the total project cost is going to be, that made our lives a lot easier from that perspective.
Definitely. Yeah, I thought it was a really useful system. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Made it a lot easier for us to understand what was happening.
Yeah, I would say that was a real plus for the project.